What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Different Lens podcast. My name is Juan Felipe Sierra. I've been in the entertainment industry for the past 14 years, and this is...
And I'm Daniel. You sure nerd. I like games, movies, music, anime, toys, Legos.
Legos, yeah, dude, you're big on Legos. Yeah.
Everything.
So
vinyls, I mean.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Discs. With the little
CD.
Yeah, little CDs. So... This is going to be our last episode of the year. We're going to do a bit of a recap of everything that's been going on during the year, the lessons that we wanted to learn, the lessons that we actually learned, and what things came along the way through this year. So,
I've heard a lot of people say that 2026 is their year. I wonder why. They're just like, 2026 is my year. And I'm like, wasn't it 2025 too? I mean, 2024.
Yeah, this year was rough for a lot of people. Like,
yeah. So it still is. It still is. It still has been very rough for a lot. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about let's talk about the things that we've accomplished this year. First of all, we started the podcast. So whoever's been tuning in since the beginning or whoever's still sticking around, thank you so much. It's been a year of learning. We started a very monotonous way. We started almost like recording the news kind of thing. We're just like, hello. And welcome to the Different Lens podcast.
And now it's like, yeah, let's do this.
Transition a little bit.
Yeah, it's just that we found our stride. We found our rhythm when it comes to things. And, like we've always said, like you were always a little camera shy, but now you got into your own rhythm too, where now you're developing more and stuff like that. We found our voices when it comes to this because, I at the beginning, I was kind of very voice actory. Now it's like, okay, like, we're finding ourselves when it comes to this.
Yeah, I think I definitely was a lot more camera shy. I'm still very neutral in my tone, very subtle and everything. I'm still like that.
But and that's your personality.
And a lot of times it seems like I'm tired, which I am.
It's a lot.
But I guess it's maintained itself. So tell me, from your perspective, what have you learned doing this podcast in terms of technicalities and everything that you have done? Because just to give you guys an FYI or behind the scenes peek, so he does everything that has to do with the editing. So setting up the cameras, editing the videos, the audios, all of that is done by him, and I'm just more of the posting on social medias and just a little bit of interactions with you guys and stuff like that. But
yeah, so in the production line, there's the pre-production, production, post-production, and then advertising. What you do mainly is pre-production and advertising, which is he's the one that plans the videos, the themes, a little bit sometimes the what we're going to talk about, how we're going to talk about it, the lists, etc., etc. I'm in charge of setting up the equipment, setting up the lights, making sure that everything looks fine, and then I do all the editing, the making sure that the pictures, the thumbnails, everything, and then you're in charge of advertising, social media, making sure that everything is running top shelf. So yeah, it's that thing of we're in different in charge of different things that all together make up the entire production line.
Correct. And so what have you learned technically? What have you learned from here, or have you gotten any, I don't know, maybe have you been able to use techniques that you don't use often that you're starting to use a lot more often here?
I love the fact that I'm always busy. That was one of the things that always kind of was kind of an issue in my life, is that I was always looking for something to do, for something to inspiration. But this has led me to always be busy, always do something, always be on top of something, and to call it my own, because I was always working on somebody else's stuff. This is my own stuff. Definitely. It's a baby. So the fact also that we're using, for example, what you guys don't know is that we have one professional camera and then two iPhones. So having to know what the iPhone settings are, how to work it, what the difference is in resolution and all that. I love it because I've done things on iPhone, but it's never been iPhone with a camera.
Okay.
So that splicing of the two.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I mean, I've learned a lot. Yeah. I don't have any previous experience as in a voice actor or, with camera for that matter. When I was little, I did theater when I was a child in Colombia, but it was never to the point where I was exposed to a camera or a microphone, or much less having to be aware what the camera is. When I started this, I remember I kept on looking, and we did have the professional camera right next to it. We have a monitor. And I remember I kept on looking at the monitor and like the camera's like right next to it. And I'm like, what? And he's like, can you please like look at the camera instead of looking at the monitor? And I'm like, I'm trying.
It's just that we don't see the actual screen for the actual camera. We like to reference what we look like on the monitor. So it's a part of like knowing that little bit of like polishing of where to look, how to look, stuff like that, how to profile yourself.
Exactly. So that's one of those things that I guess I've learned throughout the year is kind of like learning how to look at the camera a little bit more, look at the iPhones as well, and kind of communicate what I'm saying not only to you, right? Even though we're the ones talking to each other, but also being able to focus on the camera at the same time and know where to look and when to look at the cameras in a good way. But also about, you know, posting on media, sharing it, ads and everything, and kind of losing a little bit of that shyness of my name, like my face, my name is now out there and like ads and everything. And organically, there's a lot of views that come into the channel, and then there's a lot of views that come in from ads. And so whoever comes in and stays, fantastic. Whoever's come in for the ads and just stared or just looked at it and stuff like that and then swiped away, it's okay. I mean, thank you. You know, the whole point is this is an experiment for the two of us, and I think I've learned pretty much from every angle, right? Schedules, you know, maintaining a good schedule or trying to keep up with a schedule, which is at times not easy, right? Or especially when holidays. It's been a lot.
And there's also like you have your own businesses. I have my own like side hustles too. So it's all that thing of like try to maintain an adult life, but also a professional life when it comes to this, because it does take a lot of time. Like something that you guys don't know is that for every minute of edited material, it usually takes me like a good 30 minutes, because it's like finding the right place, knowing when to cut, how, like if it works through whatever we're gonna say next, if we're stuttering, if we stop talking, if we're just like all of that I have to cut, knowing when to cut, how the timing is perfect. So it does take a lot of time. So whenever you see like the finished product, sometimes it might look a little janky. I'm not perfect for sure, but it does take a lot of time for us to get there and knowing, oh, you know what? This is not flowing. I'm talking too much. He's talking too much. We're not making sense. We're going around what we're doing. We're saying idiotic things when it comes to English, since it's not our first language. Sometimes we say things that it's like, okay, that was really stupid.
I'm like heavily guilty on that. One. I've said some stupid things throughout this journey of like episodes. I'm just, man.
But again, it's about
shout out to the dictators.
I was gonna bring that up, but I was like, I want to wait a little bit. Shout out to the dictators, and then that was so funny.
That was terrible.
But yeah, I think I've loved this journey. Like, I don't know about you, but I've loved this journey knowing, because for example, we started doing like weekly episodes, and then we realized we cannot keep up with it. Because I traveled a bunch at the beginning of the year when we were just starting. So it was like, oh, we're already behind. Fuck. You know, so that's why we were doing like the 2 episodes every week. And now we're,
and I think it's also the pressure
every month. Sorry, not 2 episodes every week.
Pressure that you feel of like recording and putting out an episode is that pressure that I'm like, okay, listen, we need to get that episode. We need to get that episode. We need to get that episode. And you're like, you know, I'm trying, but I'm also busy. And then, you know, and then it'll be the same way for me. It's like, okay, I need the clip. I need this. I need that. And I'm still like, you know,
because he also reviews the footage right before we actually like finish putting like the pictures in or, you know, all the texts or whatever, or the meow counters.
So it's like, you know, like that, keeping up with those things at the beginning for sure. Doing it monthly was cool. Weekly. It was cool. Weekly, sorry. Weekly. It was cool, right? Because it was new and it was fun to do it, you know, almost on a weekly basis. We were meeting up to do the video and do the episode. And I think we had like 3 episodes in advance that we had back
we
when
started with 4, and then I missed 2 weeks. And then it was like rush. And it just became rush.
Yeah.
To the point where I wasn't even having weekends, because I was just like sit down, edit.
Yeah.
And then it just became like you also, since you started like your own businesses this year and stuff like that, you were like, bro, I can't shoot every week. Like it's just not feasible. So now we had to switch up the schedule. We had to switch how we do things in our own personal lives too.
It's been interesting to find that and try to keep a balance with everything that there is, you know, because you also travel. I also travel for work. So, you know, all those things have kind of, being affecting, or like, I'm trying to do clips, but then, choose the clips so he can edit them and then I can repost them. But then I'm like, okay, I can't physically sit down and do it right now because I'm also tending to other things. So it's been stressful at times, right? I feel like definitely has been stressful. I don't think we bump heads necessarily.
I mean, maybe once or twice where it's like, bro, like we need this, like come on. Yeah. But it's we've always handled it like, I understand where you're at, but we need to focus. And it's like, okay, yeah, but not necessarily like, all right, like enough to be like, okay, this is it. Like I'm not gonna do this anymore. Like you can't fucking keep up. I'm not gonna keep up either. And then that's it. No, it's more like, all right, and then we talk about it and we're like, listen, dude, I can't do this. Yeah.
As of late, lastly you were telling about doing 3 episodes per month, and as much as I would really like to do that, thankfully one of my businesses is starting to pick up, which is medical consulting, and that's starting to pick up. So now I have 3 clients. Like I said, I have 3 clients, but it's amazing. I mean, for some people it might be like, oh, that's small, but for me it means a lot. It's my business, and it's something that I'm doing on my own. Going out of my own way, meeting people and doing things like that, which is very nerve-wracking. But one of the things that I can say for sure, this has helped me with that, because I've always been very shy and very introverted, even though people who know me on the outside, they're like, yeah, you seem like an extrovert. And I'm like, not necessarily. I'm just, I'm extroverted when I have to be, because of my position or what do I have to do. And, one of those things is feeling more comfortable with myself and talking to people. Yeah. I guess this has helped me with that, to the point where I'm more comfortable sitting down and like, I guess, presenting a business idea to someone. And that's been cool. Yeah. That has been really cool, you know? So I think that's one of the things that I've gotten out of this. Is feeling more comfortable with my own skin when it comes into presenting myself to someone, because when you have your own business, you have to sell yourself.
Yeah, correct.
Right. And so I think this has helped me sell myself, because through this journey, I've sold this podcast to a lot of people. I'm like, yeah, I have a podcast now. Like I do a podcast and with, a voice actor, a very talented voice actor. So, and we join forces with a lot of people. We've had a decent amount of people now guests. We have We've
had 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3.
Wow, I said a lot of people.
I mean, for a podcast that is not even a year old, yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I was like in my head, I'm like, maybe we have like 6, 7, but not really.
We're 3. Yeah.
But we have more on the horizon. Yes. Right. And I think that's been a really cool part too. Of like maybe bringing some people in. I think one of the best parts of it has been bringing friends. Even though I opposed a little bit at the beginning, because I'm like, yeah, but like I don't want to
deviate from where we're at. Yeah. Because for example, like our first guest, which was my sister, she's not very like into what we do here of like movies, TV shows, blah blah blah. So it got really personal, which I enjoyed, but it got out of what we were trying to do. But everything else after that has been very focused on movies and media and stuff like that. So I would love to bring in more of people like that, not only within the industry, but people that casually just join, like just enjoy movies and TV shows and comic books and stuff like that, comic book readers and stuff like that. Even like influencers that like love, comic books and stuff like that. I would love to have them.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I have like friends on the horizon that are like, I would like to go sit down and talk to you guys about anime or games or anything. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. Why not? That'd be fun.
I love this every time. I get to see you. Like, you guys don't understand how deep my love for this motherfucker is. But it's like, whenever I get to see you, it's like, it's my bro. Like, I love you so much. And it's like, holy shit, like I get to hang out with my friend. Yeah. I get to be here and share with you guys all of our thoughts, even though, yes, we edit a lot of it out because either it's like, eesh, or like we just say something very stupid.
Just now.
Yeah, just now.
Just now I haven't.
Yeah, we just edit something out.
Thanks to me, by the way.
But I love the fact that we can just come in and hang out and enjoy this time. And like I love sharing ideas and I do love to talk a lot. A lot. So yeah. So but being able to channel it like emotionally and like psychologically through this has helped me out a lot in my life too, where I'm like, I don't need to talk as much anymore. I have a podcast. Like I can talk all I want in that podcast.
Let me save my breath for the podcast.
For sure. What about personal wise? What have you learned? What things have you learned or gotten to do this year from your personal life?
Well, I mean, I was already talking a little bit about it. I thank you for pointing that out. But I was already talking a little bit about it, which is the personal and the business side. The jewelry store also. Yeah. That, it's kind of going there, but it's it's difficult. It's been difficult to do all of the things at once, but I have big plans for it next year of like expanding a little bit, going to maybe some fairs and bringing, some of the jewelry out. I'll leave the link down below. It's called Cielora Jewelry, and it's affordable jewelry that I started, and so I wanted to kind of expand on that.
Yeah.
But it started this year basically, and it's been fun. It's a whole different perspective and how to look at things and how to sell everything. And this is kind of like those 3 businesses have been part of like selling it, right? Like this, how to bring it out to people, how to get more people see it, right? Same thing with that one, and same thing with my consulting, which I haven't even posted it in Google because I'm sure that maybe I'm going to get a call eventually, and I'm like, I need to have the manpower to do it. And in any case, the other big thing that happened this year is right there, I got married, met the love of my life, and everything aligned very well. One of the best things I think that I've gotten out of this is finding someone who shares the same passions as I do, or at least is very interested in the same things.
Yeah.
I think it's very difficult to find someone who shares all of those things with you, and it actually cares about seeing those things.
Yeah.
Like I play a lot of video games, and it's like, she would sit down next to me and say, well, let's play together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, what do you mean let's play together? That was an awesome moment.
I'm talking to a girl like that likes video games. What?
It's an awesome moment because, we get to share something that I really love, and that, she at some point eventually loved, but now she has a chance to do it again, and someone who's not going to say anything bad to her or judge her or anything
or shame
like that.
her about that.
Yeah. And I'm sure, getting her own space to do her own things and enjoy herself, it's been nice, I'm sure, for her as well. So, overall, I think I'm very excited about that. See where the journey takes us. So yeah, marriage, it's been fun. It's been very fun. And aside from that, like I said, just the business, personal growth, promotion at my job, which is always fun. Just more
responsibilities.
More responsibilities. So one of the reasons why towards the later part of the year, or maybe like towards the last quarter of the year, I just been more like, because I'm like, my energy is more like, like I have not been working out as much as I used to at the beginning of the year. I'm like always busy. I get home and sometimes I have to sit down at the computer and keep going until late. Sometimes I want to sit down and play games. I haven't played games with them in a very long time. So it's a lot of stuff, but fortunately it's really good stuff. So, I'm thankful for that. What about you?
So personal wise, I've grown a lot emotionally and psychologically. I've been Ashley, who's a friend of the show. She was here. By the way. If you haven't seen it, just go ahead and check the video
in the description.
Yeah. She's been helping me a lot through like counseling me and coaching me and telling me, hey, like you're doing things a little wrong, or hey, you need to kind of stop that shit. Stop it. Yeah, but and I greatly appreciate it, and every chance I get, I'm a very vocal person as it is. Like when I'm thankful about something, like with you all the time, I'm like, bro, I love you so much. Like, thank you for coming through this journey with me. Like, I love you. I do the same thing for her. Like, hey, thank you so much for helping me. You've been a great help emotionally and psychologically, because sometimes she calls me out on my shit when I need to be called out on my shit, and sometimes she does it with a lot of compassion when she's like, hey, listen, like I understand you're going through this, like take it easy, like don't be so hard on yourself. Unfortunately, we had in my family two big passings this year, my aunt and my mom's dog. So that and those were in the last quarter of the year. Like it was like 1 month apart. That thing of like memento mori, like just remember that you're immortal, and facing that, like facing death is something that it's necessary, unfortunately, but it's something that helps you grow a lot. Yeah, because you face that mortality of like, fuck, any day I can go, any day I could just not be here anymore, and it makes you really appreciative of the things that you have in life and the people that you have in your life, and not to just keep going on a bit of a bummer anymore. I've met professionally and personally so many cool people when it comes to voice acting, video games, conventions, like especially this year, like I've met at least 15 to 20 people that I'm like, holy shit, like we're friends now, like we're buddies, you write this
best buddies.
No, you're my best buddy. You're my best friend. This year has been really, really good for me. Those passings, even though they were tough, there's still a lot of lessons in that, and I see them as lessons. So
I also really love, and when you also mentioned that, I also love a lot. Some of you might have seen that Andrew Garfield message about his mom passing away and talking to Elmo about it. I think that was a beautiful message that I think should be maybe played a little bit more often, and for a lot of people, because when somebody passes away, we're the grief that you feel, and also it's about the love that you felt for that person. And I think that's a beautiful message, because you're feeling that love, and that person meant a lot for you, and it needs to be cherished. It's a memory. It's someone who's going to live for the rest of your life in your memory. And it's awesome. I'm sure that moving forward is not going to be the last time we go through some rough moments, right, in our lives. And whoever's watching, if you're going through something, or if you've gone through something, I think we try to be as vocal as we can about everything, about, child abuse and children growing up on the stardom, or even celebrities being threatened. And even if this maybe has not reached them yet, or reached someone who needs to listen to it, a lot of people need to be sure that, you don't have to exit this life. There's so many people here that will be absolutely willing to listen to you and hear you and be with you. And I think that's something that we have advocated for the whole entire year, which has been awesome, because all the episodes kind of have tied a little bit towards how it is and how it feels to be a star, right? Like to be on the stardom, or having that. And even if maybe compared to some like A-listers that get, I'm sure, a lot more than you've experienced yourself a lot of, crazy.
Like the main thing, even though we mostly talk about media and stuff like that, like the overall message of this is just the human experience, the good sides of it, the fantastic sides of it, and then the not so fantastic side, like the nastiness of people, the nastiness of things, and how life could be rough. But hey, just like Daniel said, like, you are not alone. Look for people, join a group, do something, get out of your head, because it is difficult. I went through a phase a long time ago where I almost exited this life, but I'm grateful I didn't, and I've gotten to meet so many amazing people along the way. So even like it may not look pretty at the beginning, but if you just drive through it a little bit further, you're going to see the end of the tunnel.
You never know. Maybe you can start your own podcast. And why not? I mean, there's nothing to lose, right? Yeah. The only thing you get to lose is not trying. And I think that's the important thing that I've also learned and gotten overall from this. How awesome it has been, this experience, is I would have never known how exciting and how fun this would have been if I wouldn't have done it. You always see people doing podcasts, and you see them setting up and doing the whole, spiel, and like sitting down and like laughing and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what?
It could be me. Fun, yeah.
I'm like, it could be me. And then here we are. A whole year later. We started, in March, the first episode, if I'm not mistaken.
The first episode came out in March, even though we technically started recording in December of last year. And getting all the templates, all the graphics, everything done, it wasn't until March that we actually found our first episode.
We could say that it's been about a little bit over a year for us. For you guys, it's since March we've been posting stuff. Yeah. Hey, listen.
Oh, hey, it's a baby. 9 months.
Yeah.
It's a baby.
Next year, it's right around the corner. It's actually, starts tomorrow. I hope everybody has a great year. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you very much for sharing our stories, our Instagram posts, our TikToks, whatever it is, for liking them. For anybody who's in Florida, thank you so much for watching us here in Florida. Thank you for everything you've seen. And then also for those who have seen it again, even if you swipe through it and you're in a different country, thank you so much.
We wanted to just do this last recap episode so that we kind of close the year. So where can they find you on social media, brother?
Well, I'm just Dan Valder in social media. Yeah, I think that's the same way everywhere across. If we always say it, if you ever want to play with us, and PSN is at Dan Valder the same way.
Awesome. And for me, it's Juanfe Sierra or Juanfe Sierra Cortez. In PSN, I'm Juanfe Sierra Co. If you ever want to play Marvel Rivals, which we're getting our asses kicked every day. We're getting better. We're getting better. And I stream.
And you stream.
Twitch, twitch.tv/Juanfe Sierra Cortez.
And the Different Less podcast and TikTok and Instagram and here on YouTube. So
thank you guys. Happy New Year, and enjoy with your families, and have a wonderful day.
Happy New Year's.
Peace.